The Bible and its many stories stand as a fundamental part of Christian belief, shaping the way we view our world and spiritual realms. But sometimes, biblical narratives echo in unexpected corners of ancient history, intertwining with myths and legends that seem far removed from a Christian context. Today, we dive into such a mystery, exploring the possible connection between the Bible and the lost city of Atlantis. Atlantis, as described by Plato in his works, Timaeus and Critias, was a formidable naval power that conquered much of Europe and Africa in around 9600 BC. This magnificent city was composed of concentric islands separated by wide moats and linked by a canal that penetrated to the city's center. The rich culture, advanced technology, and formidable power of Atlantis made it the supreme civilization of the time. Yet, despite its grandeur, it was the moral decay that marked the fall of Atlantis. Its citizens, initially pure and virtuous, became morally corrupt, and their society grew greedy and power-hungry. Angered by their moral degradation, the gods decided to destroy Atlantis as a punishment for their hubris. In a single day and night of catastrophic earthquakes and floods, Atlantis sank into the sea, disappearing without a trace. To this day, the exact location of Atlantis remains a mystery, but it's believed to have been somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, hence its name. The story of Atlantis has captivated historians, archaeologists, and scholars for centuries. Its grand narrative of power, moral decay, and divine retribution has become a symbol of civilization's rise and fall. Renowned Greek philosopher Plato was the first to mention Atlantis, a mighty ancient civilization said to have sunk into the sea overnight, swallowed up by the wrath of the gods. This narrative, although not directly linked with biblical accounts, has provoked curiosity among Christian scholars. Could this be a distant echo of a biblical tale? The story of Atlantis, according to Plato, is a tale of divine punishment and hubris. Atlantis, once a glorious civilization favored by the gods, became corrupt and power-hungry, which ultimately led to its downfall. Does this remind you of something? Perhaps the story of the Great Flood in Genesis, where humanity's wickedness was washed away by divine judgment, leaving only Noah and his family to repopulate the earth. In both the flood narrative and the tale of Atlantis, we encounter advanced societies subjected to a catastrophic end as a direct consequence of their sinful nature. The parallels are thought-provoking, to say the least. But let's tread carefully here. While the similarities are intriguing, it's essential to approach this topic with a critical and open mind. The Bible is a sacred text, a cornerstone of faith, while the story of Atlantis comes from ancient Greek philosophy and is steeped in mythology. And yet, the cross-pollination of ideas in the ancient world was commonplace. Cultural and spiritual narratives often influenced one another, blurring the lines between mythology and religion, history and legend. An interesting theory that has been raised by scholars and historians is the possible link between the biblical account of the Great Flood and the story of Atlantis as told by Plato. The timeline as described by Plato does closely match with the prehistoric era in the Bible, leading some to suggest that Plato might have borrowed elements from the ancient biblical narrative. Consider this. Both stories speak of a catastrophic flood, sent as a divine retribution for humanity's moral corruption, that led to the disappearance of a civilization in a single day and night. Furthermore, both narratives also contain elements of a righteous man, Noah in the Bible, and the ancient Athenians in the story of Atlantis, who managed to survive the disaster due to their virtues and adherence to divine laws. One could argue that Plato, having been influenced by earlier civilizations and their oral histories, adapted these ancient flood myths into his narrative. This theory, however, is speculative, as there is no direct evidence that Plato had access to the Hebrew scriptures or was influenced by them. Yet, the similarities between the two stories continue to intrigue scholars and researchers, adding another layer of mystery to the lost city of Atlantis. There are numerous theories and speculations about the location of Atlantis, from the Mediterranean to the Caribbean and even Antarctica. Some Christian researchers have proposed the theory that Atlantis might have been located in the vicinity of the Garden of Eden, adding another layer of biblical connection to this mystery. In the end, the link between Atlantis and the Bible is largely speculative. It's a mystery that invites exploration, encouraging us to delve into ancient texts and traditions, scrutinizing the familiar from fresh perspectives. At this point, it's important to state that the existence of Atlantis remains firmly in the realm of myth and legend. Despite the numerous expeditions and theories that have sprung up over the centuries, no concrete archaeological evidence has been found that definitively proves the existence of a sunken civilization corresponding to Plato's description. Atlantis, as detailed and specific as its narrative may be, has not yielded any ruins, artifacts, or any other tangible proof to move it from the pages of lore to the annals of history. In stark contrast, the story of the Great Flood, prevalent in various forms across multiple cultures, does have a basis in geological findings. There are numerous archaeological sites and geological phenomena that many scientists and historians believe could be evidence of a significant, cataclysmic flood event. From the layers of silt and clay found at ancient settlements to the flood myths that permeate so many cultures around the world, these clues suggest the possibility of a historical event that may have inspired the biblical account of Noah. But of course, interpretation of these findings is subject to much debate, with views often influenced by religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs. As with all ancient mysteries, the connections between Noah's flood and the lost city of Atlantis remain conjecture until further evidence can solidify these claims. That's what makes studying the Bible so fascinating. Its depth and complexity, its ability to resonate with different stories across cultures and centuries. Whether or not Atlantis has a real biblical connection, pondering these questions is a journey of understanding that enriches our grasp of faith, history, and the human condition. Remember, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you wish to dive deeper into Christian theology and history, check out our favorite resource, the Christian Leadership Institute. They offer fantastic courses that will strengthen your knowledge and faith. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and as always, stay blessed. Until next time, goodbye, and God bless.